Hi, I'm Augustus. I'm traveling in the United States to listen to people I meet and to tell them about my candidacy for President of the United States in 2028. I'm here in Charleston, West Virginia. I'm standing at a state capitol that is famous for its incredible golden dome, covered in real gold leaf, and that sits right next to the Kanawha River. West Virginia's state motto is Montani Semper Liberi, or Mountaineers are always free. To me, that means that independence is baked into the soil here. West Virginia is the birthplace of Mother's Day and is known as the heart of the Appalachian Mountains. It is also home to the New River Gorge, our nation's newest national park, and the legendary Greenbrier. But it isn't these claims to fame that make West Virginia such a valuable state. It is West Virginians' unwavering hospitality, their resilience and endurance, and their fierce independence that make West Virginia a state that holds a special place in the Union. This is the 39th capital of my 50+1 capitals tour. My plan seems obvious and necessary to me, but for other presidential candidates, it could be considered unnecessary and maybe even a waste of time. The plan is to visit every capital in this country over the course of about 60 days. Not to give motivational speeches, but to listen. To hear about how tax cuts may or may not help the West Virginia budget. To hear the debate over the HOPE scholarship program and hear about possible investment in infrastructure that is long overdue. It's time that we make the security of the families who are currently holding this whole country up on their tired shoulders the country's top priority. Unfortunately, it seems we're being led by people who seem to only care about the next 24 hours while you're focused on the next 24 years. They're focused on their bank accounts while you're focused on feeding your family. To lead in West Virginia, you have to be honest enough to say what everyone already feels. When the people who keep our nation's energy needs met, producing the chemicals that the country needs and the natural beauty of the state clean and maintained, can't even afford to put down roots in the very places they built, something is broken. It isn't about the system anymore. It's about the fact that hard work in this state used to buy you a future, and now it barely buys you a month of breathing room. To lead the whole country, you have to know the whole country, and you can't know the country from a high-flying jet, a speeding motorcade, or a gilded office in D.C. You have to visit the New River Gorge, admire the views along the Pacific Coast Highway, cross the mighty Mississippi, and visit the beautiful Smoky Mountains. Having lived in 7 states and visited all 50 at least once before, I think I have a glimmer of understanding of who we, the people of the United States, are. But you can never stop learning. That's why I'm visiting each state again, and I will continue to do so both during my campaign and during my time in office. Now you might be thinking, who is this guy? As I said, I'm Augustus. I was born in New York State 65 years ago. Like you, I've spent much of my life working. I've seen presidents come and go and industries rise and fall, and I've seen as the people who actually make this country run are treated as sheep or cattle, not human beings. We've stopped looking at the person behind the work, and it's time we started seeing the human being again. You may be asking yourself, is he qualified? The Constitution says I am. You need to decide for yourself what qualified means to you. To me, for instance, being qualified means working as hard as I can to help the most people possible. Think about the people who meet in this capital or in Washington, D.C. How many of them are qualified in your eyes? How many of them are working to make your housing more affordable or your prescription drugs manageable? It seems to me that many representatives have forgotten the primary requirement of their jobs, remembering who they represent. They shouldn't represent the lobbyists. They shouldn't represent their party, and they definitely should not represent the ultra-rich. Your representatives and the President of the United States should represent you, period. I stand for the people, not for corporations that treat employees like disposable parts, not for the rich and ultra-rich who treat the law as a suggestion, and not for the special interests who think their way is the only way. I believe in a land of freedom and opportunity, not a land where out-of-state interests squeeze the life out of the towns you've called home for generations. Why consider an unaffiliated, unconventional candidate like me? Maybe because you're exhausted. You're sick of having to choose between generic candidate A and generic candidate B, neither of whom has had to decide between a medical bill and a grocery run. While a vote for a candidate who isn't a member of one of the 2 major parties can be scary, isn't it scarier to have to choose between bad and worse? Choose to vote for someone who will actually work to make your lives better. Vote from compassion, not fear. I'm headed to Annapolis, Maryland next. I have 11 capitals and many miles yet to go. If you see me in your state later this year, don't just take a picture. Come over and say hello. Tell me what's keeping you up at night. Tell me what you want for your children. I'm Augustus, and I'm here to listen. I'll see you in the state where you live. Take two. Middle geekish nargle nardle nardle. Not sure what that tongue twist was, but okay. Nurk, nurk, nurk. Not to give motive country knees. That's horrible. I'm headed to Greenbrier. Greenbrier. It steams. It steams. And it's rainy, which is really nice. Not allowed. Not allowed. Have forgotten the primary requirement. Oh, something's in the wrong place. Hey, there we go. Let's do a little test just to see if, does it look better if I do this?